our wholesome family series for today. Happy to be live again. You are welcome. And yes, we are live from the Familynestacademy, where we have deep discussions on areas of the family that are very important. Okay, so today, if you join me, kindly indicate. I want to know the people having this serious discussion with. It's going to be interactive, and I look forward to receiving some deep questions, right? And responding to those questions, because I believe that this is one of the most important areas of the family that are deeply misunderstood. I won't say ignored. I don't see any family that really ignores discipline. But most times we have people misunderstanding and misinterpreting discipline, the word discipline. So I'm just giving few minutes to see who joins us on this live so that we will kick off. While we are waiting, it's important we understand that there is no family that raises responsible children, responsible individuals without discipline being put in place. And discipline is more of a structure, is more of the directive, the instructions, the guidelines that you put in place to help children know what is expected and what to do, rather than the structures that we put in place as a consequence or as a punishment. So discipline, you are welcome if you are joining us now. Discipline is the structures we put in place, ready to teach, to guide, to instruct, to support an individual to do what they are expected to do, rather than the punishment we met on children or individuals as a result of their mistake, their error, or even their intentional misbehaviors. Is anyone here with me? So, what are we talking about? We are talking about the discipline that works. That's our topic today. Raising confident children, not abused children. Whether we like it or not, most of us, what we do in the name of discipline is causing pains. We cause pain as a punishment. And in our mindset, it's like you want that child to remember that pain so that in the future, he or she doesn't repeat that misconduct. However, we don't realize that is a failed pattern, is a failed system, is a failed structure, because this child will definitely avoid repeating that error or that misbehavior in your presence. But discipline is not about your presence. It's not about the conduct of your child when you are there. It's about their what you are making out of them, the holistic outcome of this child as an individual who is able to thrive in life even when no one is watching or monitoring them. So your disciple or discipline should be a system that empowers, a system that enables. So it should be a fortifying structure that gives this child the confidence, the support that he or she needs to thrive anywhere he or she finds himself. Okay, so I have an important question to ask. How many of us have meted out a corrective measure that we look back, we could tell ourselves of a truth that was too harsh, of a truth that was too severe compared to even the error or the mistake committed? The truth is that you are not alone. Sometimes, if not most times, we carry out impulsive corrective measures. As the thing they hurt, we just want to do it. We just want to tackle it. Without even thinking straight. If this is productive or counterproductive, if this is effective or it is going to cause trauma, because some of us end up disciplining children in such a way that it becomes traumatizing. Okay, so out of anger, out of even fear of the unknown, sometimes we discipline ourselves in our children. I want to get you to understand this. So when a child does something, most times you begin to see your mistakes or mistake of people around you in that child. Like you already see or presume that if you don't do anything immediately, this child will end up like the useless brother or the stubborn sister you have, or even make the mistakes you made while younger, because you are thinking that all you need is to beat that child, shout at that child, lay all your anger and your vibrate on that child for that child to change. Unfortunately, those measures doesn't work. They don't help our children most times because they misinterpret the intention. And because you too, your intentions are right, but your actions are contradicting your intention. So, I believe that no one corrects their children, right? Wanting them to get hurt in the process. No one does that. No one intentionally wants to cause harm to their child while disciplining that child. All we want, and the intention of that discipline, is to make this child turn out good, which is a good intention, which is a good will. However, because some of us does not understand the type of discipline that works, the type of children we are raising, and what is effective. I'm not going to talk about this is Gen Z's, we are born when like it's not the time we were born. It's not all about that. It's about knowing what works for that child you are raising. So it's beyond generational gap, even though there are features to consider when it comes to considering generational gap. Okay? So what we are saying is, when we are disciplining a child, we need to understand that it's not everything that works. I understand that sometimes we walk like someone like walking on eggshell. You are trying to create the boundary between loving your child and being firm. And sometimes, personally, I've had that point on several occasions where my husband would think I'm not firm enough because I'm not taking the same means and measure he's using. So you can find yourself in that particular situation where you are thinking, oh, am I being too lenient? Am I, or is it about me loving my children? No. Even the Bible says that God loves us, and those whom he loves, he disciplines. And I believe behind every discipline a parent met to the child, one thing remains, is that love. That love that wants you to protect this child from becoming useless. That love that wants you to protect this child from becoming irresponsible or becoming something that is not in the plan, right? And whatever moves you is always love. However, we need to balance love with firmness and boundaries, because any love that does not operate with firmness and boundaries will turn out to hurt the people involved. So, say for example, a couple, if couples, even though they love themselves, don't set boundaries in that marriage, in that relationship, they will give room to things that will destroy that home. So you see a man who, because he's generous, he gives out everything that comes into family. That's a man that, or marriage that doesn't have boundaries. Do you know what will happen? A time will come when all the resources that is meant to sustain the home will be given out, but it's done out of love. And the woman has allowed the man, I love him, let him do what he wants to do. Then he will mess up the finance. The same thing when it comes to a woman who the man will say, okay, I love her, let her just do whatever she wants. Then she start cruising, going on night parties, leaving her responsibility at home. What will happen? At the end, that marriage will suffer, because the man and the woman did not set boundaries. They did not put structures in place to say we love each other. However, there are things that must not be allowed in order to maintain, in order to sustain, in order to uphold this union. The same thing in families. So if we must raise children, well-disciplined children, you must put boundaries in place. You must be firm in upholding that boundary, so that when they break the boundary, they know that there is a penalty, there is a consequence. Now, children will not always pick it immediately. It will be depending on their learning styles, their age of development, and other features which are unique to individual child. But when we use the approach of aggression, agitation, and violence, we end up causing mental and emotional trauma to this child, who will rise up to resist. So you see a child resisting instruction is because the brain has interpreted your means of correction as a threat. So the flight and fight system of the brain is trying to fight back to protect that child. So you see a child, you are giving instruction, and a child is reactive. What the child is doing is not in her control at that time, because the brain has given that interpretation and is spontaneous. So it's a system that once the brain gives signal, the nerves work. They try to do things to defend the body's system. So we must build a structure that becomes known, permanently uphold, and that is where your firmness stands, and consistency. So it registers over time that no matter what you do, if you break this rule, this is a consequence. So you have a young child, he does something, you correct, you teach, you tell this is not, you see him repeating it again, it's because it has not registered. one, or they just want to push boundary to know if this thing is really what mommy and daddy are talking about. And that is where you put up a structure. If you do it the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and they see consistency that when they do this, this is the consequence. And what I'm saying, the consequence is not hitting, because hitting does not teach this child. What teaches this child is you have poured water on the floor. What you should do is mop this floor. Give this child the first time mop. When you pour water, mop the floor. The second time he pours water, give him mop the floor. The third time, go and show him where the mop is. Let him carry the mop by himself, mop the floor. If you continue, it will be normalized in this child that anytime you pour water, you must mop it. Mommy will not do it. Daddy will not do it. Nobody will do it for you. That is discipline. But when you hit this child and shout on top of this child, I've talked so much about how our emotional and logical brain does not work at the same time. The logical brain is blocked because it feels threatened. So what the emotional brain is doing at that point is sensing what you are doing as hurt to the child, right? And then the system begins to resist and fight. So the discipline here is what you are teaching this child in such a way he knows that at every point, if something like this happens, this is what we should do. That is how children learn. With time, the one you teach them, the one they see you do, becomes the discipline. So we need to understand this better so that we don't waste our energy doing the wrong thing and expecting a result that we have not planted. And then we end up raising traumatized children. We end up abusing these children in the name of this. That is not discipline. So I can't remember where I was teaching, and I was asking. The Bible said that whom I love, I discipline, right? And then we keep pointing that spare the rod and spoil the child. What do we really understand by the rod? The rod doesn't literally mean like the iron, because why are you not flogging your child with rod, like literally? And why is God not flogging us with iron? How many people did God flog in the Bible? But God meted up punishment, right, to those he consistently called their attention and they refused to learn. Even while Jesus was on earth, he had disciples whom he knew we are not following him genuinely. What did he do? He kept pointing it out. He still kept teaching them, still kept pulling them. But that one, the son of perdition, that has been groomed and predetermined to be destroyed, still did what he needed to do. But look at others. Look at even Peter. Peter became the rock. But initially, Peter denied Jesus. But Jesus knew ahead of time and said, I have prayed for you. So in the place of discipline is teaching, is guidance. It's not just about hitting. Nobody say you should not hit your child, but you ask yourself a question really. Is it really what gives results? Sometimes it's just about our emotion, not under control. Sometimes it's just our anger boiling in us and we are not able to keep ourselves. We just lash out on the children and we call it discipline. We give excuse for our inability to control our emotion. And some of us, after we are done, we come to realize that indeed it didn't worth it. So I welcome every one of us that is just joining us. This is Familynestacademy, and we are teaching and empowering families on the discipline that works. How to raise children who are confident and not children who are confused or abused. Because we need to realize that discipline is beyond the beating or getting children to be obedient. No. It's about grooming a wholesome individual. It's about raising children who will thrive anywhere, even in our absence. So we need to be conscious that when we are raising children, we are not raising children, we are raising adults. We are raising children who will grow up to be someone that wherever they are found, they won't need our presence to stand on what is right. But these children must thrive on conviction. You ask yourself, is your child convinced of what you are teaching him? Does your child have a deep understanding? If you walk that way, you will realize that you have a lot to teach your children. You have a lot of assignments. You have a lot of responsibility, and not shouting and hollering and beating them up and down. You even have a lot starting from yourself. Some of us, the discipline we are teaching our children need to start from us. Because by now, you need to realize that your children, they magnet your behavior more than your speeches, more than your correction, your verbal correction. They copy your actions and inactions, your dispositions. So let's quickly go. So in this topic today, we'll be talking about different outlines, and the first one will be redefining discipline, which I think I've already shoot into. God's way versus man's way, or the world's way. So in the world system, we see discipline as control, being able to boss it around, call the shot, and our children are running helter-skelter to obey. So once you say, come here, they run. Go there, they go. Do this, no. That is actually not discipline. Do you know why? Your child needs to come to the level where you don't have to talk. They know what to do. That is a disciplined child. A disciplined child is a child who will be able to think and take actions when you are not there. Who will know what is right and do it without you giving the orders. That is a disciplined child. So if your child needs to do something because you are around, that child is not yet disciplined. That child is controlled. It means you are the remote control. When you are not there, that child will malfunction. Now ask yourself, is it the kind of child you want to raise? How about when they find themselves in a system that stands contrary to your family value or to what you want them to know? If you have this understanding, you will walk your way quicker, more seriously, and more determined, more structured, to know that you have a lot to do to raise a disciplined child. But sometimes we use all our time to shout, to beat a child, and then we are traumatizing these children, and they are not learning what they should learn. So when they go out, they feel like a fresh air. They feel there's no more control of mommy and daddy. They can do. They fly like a bird out of the snare of the fowler. So we raise children who feel restrained at home, who feel they are being controlled at home. Nobody wants to be under subjection, under control. That's the truth. We have the right as parents to guide, to protect, and to help them until they have a level of understanding, but not to control or to restrain them. Learn to allow these children to exercise levels of independence as they are growing. It will save you trouble in the future, because it's that level of independence that will make them think for themselves when they find themselves in a difficult situation outside and you are not there, because you will not always be there. So when we are raising children, let's raise children who will thrive in our absence, because discipline is not about us. It's not about children, our children doing the right thing when they are with us. If not, it's no longer a discipline. It's a failed structure. So let's raise children who will thrive even when we are not there. Discipline in the world system is about punishment and fear. It's about power. We want to show you are the father, you are the mother. I am the one that gave birth to you. You must obey me. You want to rule it over them. You want to instigate fear. That's why sometimes I will tell my husband, stop this threat. And when I see people threatening children all the time, you are grooming a child. You are programming a child's brain and mind to only obey instruction under threat. So if this child goes out and daddy and mommy are not there to threaten them, if you don't do this, I will not do this for you. If you do this, I will do this. Like you are consistently threatening this child with punishment, or with denying them something, or with doing what you know they don't want you to do. Is a threat system and is a failed structure. Because in the society, if you want children that excel, they don't need threats. They don't need consequences and punishment to be able to make right choices and take up responsibility. Disciplined children are children who are responsible. Responsibility. Children who are able to identify things are not right and try to reason out how to put them in right order. So when you are raising children, don't raise children who will only thrive when they are being threatened, because out there a lot of people are struggling with their own life to come and start threatening your child. Do this thing, I will do. No. And if you're in a Western country where they are even against all those systems, it means your child will just be in a system where they will malfunction. They will look like morons because they don't have that stimulation. They don't have mommy and daddy threatening and punishing and asking them, if you don't this, I will do this. So they tend to not reach out to initiate things. And that's how we also don't creativity. Sorry, I'm moving away from really our today's focus. So, but God's system is discipleship. So in place of using punishment, using your power and position, and using threats, why not to use discipleship, like you are raising a younger person to follow after you? And that brings me to the question: are you well disciplined enough to really want your child to become like you? Because some of us, we claim that our children are disciplined, I am disciplined, but we don't have self-control. We cannot control our urges. We cannot control our appetites. We cannot control our desires. We do what we want. And even the things that we know, if a second eye sees or a second ear hears, it will tingle and will blind. We do it hiding. You are not disciplined. So you claiming you are disciplined, our parents are disciplined, you must raise a disciplined child. The question is, are you disciplined enough to disciple your children? So parenting should be about discipling, raising a younger person to grow up to become like you or even better. So if we must talk about disciplined children, we must talk about being disciplined. Those areas of your struggle, what are you doing about them? So you have parents who are involved in pornography, right? And we think our children don't know. But they have access to the internet. Your algorithm will bring it to them. As they are seated in that laptop in your house, shuffling for information in Google or assignments or whatever, your algorithm will bring it as an advert. As you are going on Facebook and they are looking at you, your algorithm will bring those kind of content and they will see it. And yet, we claim we are disciplined, but we are watching content that exposes body parts. I keep telling people, if you believe or sorry, you are in a group, or you are a follower of those indisciplined kind of people, and you want to raise disciplined children, please go away from remove yourself from such groups and unfollow such individuals for the sanity, for the sake of your children. Because what your children see you watch is what they normalize. It's acceptable. Dad is watching someone's bum bum. Mom is watching someone's chest open. For them, it's normal. Please, if you are joining us, kindly subscribe and press the like button. And yes, share to your loved ones. Let's learn together. So like we are saying, let's see discipline as discipleship. It's easier because your discipler will not flog you literally with cane. They will be firm with you. They will put boundaries. They may even be harsh. But that harshness will be a structured harshness to correct you, to reform you, to reshape you until you become whom they are looking at you to become. That is what parent discipline should be like. So we need to move from that point where we see discipline as punishment, causing harm, hurting our children, getting them beaten up so much that they are angry, they are crying, they are agitated. All those things form a kind of gap in our relationship. And that's where you see children grow. They don't bother you. For those who know African, the African slang. They don't care about you. Because while raising them, you did not build boundary. You did not bond with them. You were the master and the slave. You were in a kind of master-slavery relationship. You just want things to be done your own way. You just keep the order, let everyone fall in line. That is not the type of relationship we share with God. If you are in real relationship with God. And that is not the kind of relationship God wants for us and our children. And God does not discipline us to shame us. Very important. Some of us, in the name of correction, we shame our children. We reproach them. We talk carelessly to them, even in the presence of our friends. How can you embarrass your child in the name of discipline? Some of us, out of discipline, we have removed confidence in our children. We have chased away confidence in our children in the name of discipline. In the name of discipline, you will abuse them. You will curse them. You will say things you shouldn't say to a child of destiny. And I admonish parents, when a child goes wrong, yes, you are seeing negativity. Speak positivity. Tell this child, it's well with you. You are not a stubborn child. You are an obedient child. You are a responsible child. You are a well-groomed child. Speak what you want to see. It's a spiritual affair. It's not about what you see. It's beyond the physical. Speak life into your children. God doesn't shame us. If not, it wouldn't be like this. How many of us have sinned severally and still go back to God? God disciplines to shape us. Your discipline should shape your children and not destroy them. So if you are the one that is always angry, agitated, you are always disciplined out of frustration, you need to go and sit yourself down and deal with yourself. You need to discipline yourself first. You need to build emotional resilience and emotional intelligence. You need to work on yourself first for the sake of the destiny of your children, because they will suck, and take everything they are seeing in you, and they will put them in, like they will soak it up. It will become part of them. So if you are an angry parent, you will raise angry children. If you are a bully, you will raise children who bully others. If you are a bitter parent, you will raise bitter children. You see, those children that used to go to school to look for trouble, it's from home. It's not from anywhere. Don't go far. When we say angry lies in their blood, it's not about biological blood. It's about behavioral threats. What they pick every day, what they find, they sense, they take up in the home environment. How you talk to them, how you talk to their mom or to their dad, they pick it up. The little they pick from outside is just minimal compared to what they pick from home. But if you're a parent that is well coordinated, able to manage their emotion, your children will grow up being able to handle their emotions. So, let's raise children who we prepare to face the future, not children who we are preparing to thrive in our home. Let your children be able to pick things for themselves, align to what is right, even when you are not there. But that will take time, that will take consistency, that will take intentionality, that will take hard work. So don't be away and wanting magic to happen to your children. No, you need to be present. You need to put up a structure. At every stage of your children, you should have curriculum of things you will teach them. And you're not just teaching it once. Excuse me. You have to keep repeating it. When the Bible said that God was instructing the children of Israel that we should tell our children about God in the morning, when they wake up, when they sleep, during the day, God is just emphasizing on the key of repetition, consistency. See, you must repeat yourself. Your children must hear you consistently. But of course, don't worry them. Right? Don't always give them sermon, but create a structure where you sit down and read books, talk about it, make a reflection out of it, let them relate it to their everyday life. If you find any area of their life they are struggling, or you think they need correction, they need discipline, they need to be taught, put up a structure. Raise it as a topic for the week, topic for the day. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about honesty. There's this boy that did this and did that. Use storytelling as a means of instilling values, instilling discipline. So discipline, like I said, is not about punishment. It's not about the consequences. It's about what you are putting in place ahead of time. Some of us, we have not taught children anything. When they now make mistake, that's normally a child that doesn't know anything should do. We now want to react. So we are reactive. The Bible said that foolishness lies in the heart of a child. And that is where the rod will take it away. See, rod even comes in form of knowledge. Do you think you will remove foolishness by beating a child? No, you will remove it by knowledge. So some things a child does not know is because that child lacks knowledge. The question is, who is supposed to give this child that knowledge? Is it you? Is I? So anything you have not taught a child intentionally, you don't have right to punish that child or beat that child for that sake, because you are the one that failed. Because what children does is they explore, right? They are very inquisitive. They want to try things. They want to find out things. That's how they build their creativity. So you see them try things, do things, even try you to see what you will say. That is the time to say, okay, baby, what you just did shouldn't be done. That's not what to do. This is what to do. Instead of your first action being to hit them, no. Your first action should be, okay, this is what you just did. is not right. This is what you should do, and this is why. A child who knows why something is done will thrive than a child who knows how. So when you teach this child, next time this child will not just remember that mommy said this is not what should be done, this is what should be done. This is why you should do it. And that child will defend it tomorrow. If she comes in the gathering of other people or peers who are trying to push her in the direction of what is wrong, the child will explain it based on the why she knows. So you must raise children who understand why. Let's move. So let's not break our children while trying to build their character. We should shape and mold them. So we'll be talking about the problems with modern parenting. So let's be honest, I know some of us think that some of us who don't use the aggressive type of parenting now and agitation are being lenient, and we will is not true. I know we grew up with fear parenting. That form of parenting, they put fear in you, they use aggression and agitation. The question is that, look at us. Many of us, even with that aggression, still struggle to live a disciplined life. So to tell you, it's not just about using aggression or beating up children and shouting. No, it's not just about it. And it's not about being lenient. Nobody say you should be lenient. Okay? While we were growing, I know there were a lot of spanking, shouting, even use of shame, which we have ruled out, is not what creates a permanent effect or result. Okay? So, why you should not be in the opposite direction of the boat stick? Please, you need to know how to balance this discipline we are talking about. Nobody say you should not discipline your children, and I've already explained what discipline is. So you should discipline your children, but you use the correct disciplinary measures. All right, you should set boundaries. Don't set boundaries with bribery. The one I was saying, you tell a child you must do this so that you get this. Okay, let's not replace correction with comfort. Most times, they will not be comfortable, and they shouldn't. We are not raising children who think life is all about comfort. No. And that is where you create structures, that's consequences. They know that once you do this, this is what follows. A point will come, they will naturally know, oh, this is what I've done. Mommy, I did this, so it's out of mistake, but I already know my punishment. I already know my consequence. Even without you raising voice, without you shouting. We should build a structure to that point. Okay? So that we don't create instruction with indulgence and children are doing anyhow, growing up anyhow. No. Let's put things together, because harsh discipline breaks the spirit. Why no discipline breeds entitlement? Hey, please never raise entitled children who think they will always have their way, and when things don't go their way, they start looking like someone offended them. Someone takes what belongs to them. No. So we need to put discipline with love in structure. We need to guide with grace. Discipline is guidance. So we need to guide with grace. We need to set boundaries that protect your children, not the boundaries that punish them. Because if we are not careful, we may raise bitter children, angry children, children who will be boiling on the inside, and children who will live a life of fear. When we raise children who are fearful, we deny ourselves that privilege of being forced to know when things are going wrong. So you will see children under their parental care are being taken advantage of, are being bullied, are being harassed, are being abused, but they cannot talk to their parents because they are afraid of all the beating that will follow, all the shouts, all the punishment that will be meted on them for opening up. And peradventure, the abuser is even the mommy's sibling or the daddy's father. We see a lot of things going wrong, and children are not able to talk. So I was going through my sister-in-law status just a few days ago, and she was sharing how girls were verbalizing how they were sexually abused as young children under this campaign going on for this young girl that was raped about 5 years ago and was never served justice. A young girl, I think 12 years or thereabout, that died after being raped by cousin, uncle, and for 5 years, the parents never knew. Of course, they were not living with her, but you are not telling me that there was no means of communicating with a child you sent to live with your sister for 5 years, that this child couldn't relay her struggles, her frustrations to the parents. Was she not coming home? That's a story for another day. So what brought me to that is that a lot of comments, out of 5 comments, in fact, all the 5 I saw, we are talking about how they cannot open up their mouth to share how they were sexually abused as children, some in their own parents' house. So you ask yourself, is your parenting disciplinary measure drawing your children away from you? Is it raising praise for predators? Is it raising children who will not be able to connect or talk to us or even fight for themselves? Oh, discipline should equip your children to defend themselves anywhere, any day. That's what discipline is. It shouldn't weaken them. It shouldn't make them just the way they are fearing you to fear other people. If we raise children out of fear, they will not end up fearing us only. They will fear people outside. Their voice will be silenced. The same way they cannot talk to you or question you because you are the alpha and omega of your home, they will not be able to raise their voice to question other people. So we don't understand the implication of what we do when we do the kind of discipline we do. So we need to think beyond the family, beyond our flat, beyond our compound. We are not raising local champions. We are not raising children for our house. We are raising global citizens. Children who can go anywhere and they will look people in their face and question them when they are making the wrong decisions that concerns their destiny. Have it at the back of your mind. You are not raising children who will think small. You are not raising children who will all of their lives struggle to survive, struggle to raise their head out of the water when they should be thriving and flying like eagles. You are not raising traumatized children in the name of discipline. Go and deal with yourself. Deal with yourself. Deal with your emotions. Deal with your mindset. Learn. There are a lot of things to learn when it comes to this parenting in this dispensation. Because a lot of mistakes were made during our own parenting that we don't want to acknowledge. So don't end up parenting like your parents. Because there are things you never knew happen. Those who were traumatized